guess what today is on the record? Today is show and tell. And I was the kid in school that couldn't wait for show and tell day, and I always tried to find interesting, fun, and exciting things to show. Well, the last 3 days have been fun for me because I've done some mining for gold, black gold, vinyl, vinyl gold, and I found some interesting records, and I just want to show them to you today because I think they're really cool. I think you'll enjoy seeing them, and a couple of these will be a video of their own later on because I think I can play some of these without having copyright problems. The first one I want to show you, I'm going to slide these over here. Now, slide them over. First one I want to show you is called The Clown and the Kids, and it is from Golden Records. I do not see a copyright date on it, but I'm thinking 1960s because it has never been opened, and it's starring Emmett Kelly and co-starring Kathy Dunn and Burt Stratford. Words and music by Tony Vallona. And so it's the original soundtrack from the motion picture, The Clown and the Kids. And so that's a nice album. I think I'm probably, though, not going to open it. I'll just leave it as it is. Next one I bought, primarily because of the artwork on the cover, and it's Ragtime Melodies with Johnny Maddox. And this was released the year I was born, 1955, on Dot Records. And it has some really great old melodies on here. Crazy Bone Rag, San Antonio Rose, Coconut Grove. Well, I like the version of Coconut Grove who did that one? David Lee Roth. I'm sure this sounds a lot different than that one though. In the Mood and others. But this one I bought because of the artwork and because of the music that's on it. This is Davy Crockett TV Western Themes, and this is not dated, but it would have had to be, I'm thinking, mid to late 1950s. And the Western TV themes on here are Davy Crockett, Wyatt Earp, Cheyenne, El Paso, Red River Valley, Wild Bill Hickok, The Old Chisholm Trail, Jesse James, Buffalo Bill, and Home on the Range. And just a little notation on the back of it which says, among the most popular shows on television are westerns. The shoot-'em-ups have captured the American fancy. Not only are the westerns popular in rural areas, they are also among the best-liked shows in the cities. And on this record, we've assembled some of the most popular themes used on TV westerns. That's a really good one. And again, I love the artwork on the cover. They say you can't judge a book by its cover, and that's true, but you can tell, I think you can tell a lot about a record album from the artwork on the cover. This was released by Coronet Records. Then, not extremely rare, but I really like this one, The Four Seasons, Second Vault of Golden Hits. So there's only supposed to be one record in here, but there are actually two. Volume 1 is in here also, got stuck in here by the original owner. So Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Sherry, Walk Like a Man, Candy Girl, Stay, I've Got You Under My Skin. Every single song on both of these discs are ones that were hits. And they're as exciting to listen to now as they were back in the 60s when I was just a wee little lad. But in the 70s, I took my sister Roseanne and my mom, Lorraine, and took them to a Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons concert here in Saginaw at the Civic Center, and it was the most awesome concert I'd ever gone to. Every single song had been a hit. Then I'm not sure why I picked this one. This is Kenny Rogers in the first edition. It has the hit song Elvira on it. Again, they were never like one of my favorites, so I don't know why I got it, but I did. Then there's the story of Saint Dominic Savio, and this was released by Selzenia Publishers, and it was done by RCA Custom Records. It is undated, but I believe it's early 60s, and it is a dramatization of the life of Saint Dominic Savio, and it's a dramatization, as I said, written and produced by Bob Caskey and directed by Anthony A. Sapano, SBD. It is from the Catholic faith. I love dramatized stories though. And so I'm anxious to listen to that one, and I believe I'm probably going to be able to share that one with you on a future On the Record. Now this is one that I bought because of the artwork, because I have several other versions of this. This is Groff's Grand Canyon Suite. This was released on RCA Victor Red Seal Records. The cover just has the artwork and the colors and everything are just so typical of the mid to late 1950s, which is when I believe this was released. The Grand Canyon Suite is it's an awesome piece of what sounds like semi-classical music. This particular version of it was featured Arturo Toscanini and the NBC Symphony Orchestra. Okay, so that was one I really liked. And the best of Chad and Jeremy. Chad and Jeremy, these young men had one of the most mellow sounds, I think, of anybody in the 60s. That was 1964, was scarcely a time for ballads, but with four Liverpool madcaps named the Beatles shattering all the sounds and popularity barriers known to man, but Chad and Jeremy creating and perfecting their own unique ballad style, managed not only to survive to make recording history of their own, but many top 40 stations across the nation and the world played their music. A Summer Song is one in particular that's on here that I particularly really love. The cover's not in the greatest shape. It's masking tape on the edge. There's some shelf wear, but it is the music, in this case, the reason that I bought this one. I'm going to skip down in this stack for a minute, and I'm going to come back to these. But the next one I want to show you is Hes Funny That Way by Red Fox. This came out in 1961. Red Fox, I remember from, like many of you probably, from Sanford and Son on TV, but that kindly old gentleman, Mr. Sanford, was not at all like Red Fox is, because Red Fox's humor, and this is a comedy record, was at best risque. From the back, let me read you just a clip here. Rollicking, fantastic, risque, Fox introduces this brand new sensation full of torrid excitement. Hotter than Little Sister, this brilliant new record is guaranteed sensation for your party. With over 15 of the best-selling albums that have sold over the million mark, Red Fox has originated and established the popularity of spoken comedy records that has snowballed into a big slice of the total sales of the record industry. This was released on Due To Records. I like the label is colorful. I like it. The disc itself is in immaculate condition. Doesn't look like it's ever been played. And the cover's in really good condition too. A few little scratches here. That's about it. This is one of my favorites that I found the other day. I found this one at Records and Tapes Galore. Bill and Judy over there on Court Street. My two fine and dear friends in vinyl. Then another comedy record from the opposite end of the spectrum really is The Button Down Mind of Bob Newhart. And Bob Newhart is probably one of my favorite comedians. He, between the Bob Newhart Show, where he was a psychiatrist, and Newhart, where he was the innkeeper, these are the things that established him as a really likable comedian. And I have not listened to this yet, but I am looking forward to it. It was released by Warner Brothers Records in 1960 and recorded live at the Tidelands Club in Houston, Texas. And the cover is in very nice shape. There's a little bit of wear. The disc itself is not as immaculate as Red Fox, but just about. Now these records that I set down here, this is a small collection of Burl Ives recordings. And the one that I like the best is right here, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the original soundtrack and music for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And this was released by Decca Records. And it was a Videocraft TV musical spectacular that aired on NBC in 1964, and I remember watching it that first year that it came out and subsequent years because people, I mean, it's still a holiday classic, it's still a Christmas time classic. And the first performance of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, as I said, on the NBC TV network in December 1964, stands as one of the top single presentations in the history of television. This program had one of the largest audience ever recorded, and the critical acclaim was extravagant in praise and of the warmth, charm, and family appeal of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And this would not have had that same appeal had it not been for Mr. Burl Ives voicing the snowman. And if you've heard it, you'll never forget it, and you must hear it. It's a must-hear recording. This I bought because of what it is, but also I love the artwork on the cover. It is so typically 1960s, and it is just it's awesome. A little bit of wear, not a whole lot. The cover's in nice condition. And the record is in not bad condition either, and as I said, that's from Decca Records. But then, today when I was out at the Bethesda thrift shop, I came across some more Burl Ives records. This one though, the one I just showed you, and this one I actually found at the Salvation Army thrift shop yesterday, and this is simply called Cheers, and it's again from Decca Records, and it has Burl Ives singing some of his very folksy songs. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 others that I found today out at Bethesda. Burl Ives Spotlight On, and that is from Pickwick International. And then I have Burl Ives, It's Just My Funny Way of Laughing, and that's from Decca Records. Then we got Burl Ives sings Pearly Shells and Other Favorites, also on Decca Records. These are all, I presume, 1960s. The Return of the Wayfaring Stranger with Burl Ives. This one on Columbia Records. And then finally, this one is just called Burl, and it is again from Decca Records. And self-titled. Cover work is really interesting on all of them, and the discs are in really good shape too. And then lastly are 3 10-inch albums from a gift from Bill and Judy over at Records and Tapes Galore. And I like the 10-inch albums. They're from that transitory period, late 40s, early 1950s, when there was that period where record companies were competing to have what was going to be the format that replaced the 78 RPM records and delivered more and quality sound on a disc. And so the first one is Dixieland Jazz, Volume 1, played by Bob Crosby. Cover work is rather mundane, still a nice addition to my collection. Then Dixie by Dorsey, Jimmy Dorsey and his original Dorseyland Jazz Band. I love the artwork on this one. Very, very nice. Cover's not in great shape. It's got masking tape at the top and bottom, but it's still a nice addition to the collection. And finally, the last record I'm going to show you right now from RCA Victor Collector's Issue, Fabulous Frankie, Frank Sinatra, with orchestra conducted by Axel Stordahl and with Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra. And the collection issue label designates a recording of great historical and musical interest, which, although technically not representative of RCA Victor's present-day high-quality standards, has been reissued in response to widespread demand. So, that's what I came up with the last few days. There were tons more, but I picked out just the few that I really wanted to add to the collection, and I hope you enjoyed taking a look at them. I enjoyed showing them to you, and I'll talk to you again real soon, where we'll listen to some records. Love y'all, God bless, and have an awesome day.